Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Nashawn.
It's your boy King Caleb.
And I'm Sarah.
And it's another episode of Winning in Life.
Yes.
What's going on, man?
We're back.
Talk to us,
I'm
man.
back.
Yes.
How's
yes,
your
yes.
week going? My week. Yeah, how's your week going so far?
It
Well,
went by pretty quickly.
it just started.
Well,
I guess technically it just started
It is
and
the start
ended
of
at
a
the
new
same
week.
time.
Yeah. You know, Sunday for us when you guys get this
Yeah.
video.
Is it Sunday an ending or a beginning of a week though?
It's the
definitely
beginning.
Definitely.
That's the
I
real
guess
beginning.
technically, yeah, I guess technically.
Not Monday like everyone thinks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think everybody's doing pretty good.
Pretty good.
So
I just been winning
yeah,
in life.
we can
In
say that Sarah's gonna be, you know, more of a prominent figure on the podcast now. So you know.
Yes,
I'm
I'm blessed.
getting used
Appreciative.
We'll see
I'm
how
getting
long
used to
this
it.
lasts.
Yes.
I gotta pray tonight and ask God, should we keep Sarah?
Guys, they said I have a 90-day probationary period.
we are
I think I should feel some type of way about this.
You know.
we are a business of helping people.
Appreciate the help. Appreciate guests. So, you know, bring the vibes. And
I think we should now throw away the me being a guest consistently then. You know, like, because technically
We just
if
call
I'm
you
not-
Sarah. Sarah, welcome back. Anyways, let's get into the first subject, y'all.
Yes.
We got a lot of things to talk about.
yes, because we obviously know a lot of people struggling, going through hard times. As far as anybody though, with traumatic past, or you know, they're really going through stuff, or they know, hey, this really happened to me, whether it's a breakup, a death in the family, whatever. It's like, how do you heal from that in a healthy way? Because you can, you know, go to the bar, get a drink. You can smoke some weed. You can, you know, take an edible. You can, you know, watch plenty of videos online. But it's
Right.
like, you know, how do you actually deal with the pain that you're going through?
One of the biggest things is to figure out the root of the problem, right? So what is the root of if there's a trigger or something, you as a person, as an individual, you should always figure out the very first, figure out what it is that's causing this, right? Because a lot of times, what is it that they say, like, you know, like the first thing is, you know, like accepting, or like, what is it? There's like for like Alcoholics Anonymous that they say, like, you know, the first thing is to accept it or whatever. So I
It's
think
to, acknowledge.
right. So I think figuring out what it is that the root of the issue is, and then accepting that, okay, you do need to work on something. That's the biggest step, right? That's the first thing, not to kind of bury it or think that you don't have an issue or that there isn't a problem. Because
Right.
a lot of people have to, obviously, like, they think, oh, I don't have it. It's not in
It's
me.
like denial, right?
Exactly. But once you do accept it, like, okay, I do have an issue. This is something that I feel has held me back from XYZ. Now you can approach it differently. Now
Yeah.
you can work on it
I do have a cocaine problem. I probably should go
and get help.
to somebody for this. It is affecting my church Sundays. I need to stop doing it.
Yeah, no, it's literally like if you don't acknowledge the problem. I think that's the very first step is acknowledge that there is a problem within you, because it's so easy for us to not acknowledge it, because that's the easy route, right? We always talk about, you know, a lot of the times working on ourselves means it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a difficult journey, but that does not necessarily mean it's not worth it.
I like what you said.
It's-
That doesn't
it's-
mean it's
Wow.
not worth it.
Right.
Right, because if somebody goes to like a meeting, or they go to rehab, or you know, they start seeing a therapist, right? They're like, oh man, sometimes they think that the process should be quick, that you can just take a pill and not feel that heartbreak anymore, you know. But that's not how healing works. Like, healing takes time. And
Absolutely.
even, you know, when I went through a breakup like years ago, I was like, bruh, like, you know, you're just feeling all this pain, you just kind of want to get over with it. But if you actually take the time and you learn about yourself, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, this was actually like needed. Like, you can learn.
Needed.
Yeah.
I like how you said that.
And I want to also jump off you when you just said that it's not, it takes time to be better, right? To work on yourself. I always want to point out the simple fact that working on yourself, it's not wasted time. There's nothing bad that's going to come from you working on yourself, right? As long as you're, you know, working on yourself in a good way, obviously. Yeah. But the whole point is, when you do put in the work, of course, you're not going to see a change from one day to the next. You'll see it a year down the line, a few months, depending on whatever it is you're working on. But the fact is, once you start, and you start to see little differences in you, it's almost like when you work out and you constantly you like what you feel after you work out. You feel good, you know, you see some differences. Now it's almost like you can't miss a day of working out because it's just not like you. Once you start applying the work for yourself, I mean, I speak from experience. Once you do, you kind of want more. You like to see how you're becoming. You like to see the differences that you're making in your personal life. And it's almost like you just consistently want to be touching base with that work, because you miss a day or you miss a 2 or something, you see the difference. It reflects in your day-to-day life. At least, like I said, for me, it does.
Yeah.
Like you said, number 1, you acknowledge the problem. Number 2, I would seek help, especially if needed. And most of the times you do need help. And that help may come in many forms. If you're a believer, believe in God. You know, God is always the great source, one of the main sources. But also therapy, and get good people around you, get good friends and around you. So if you're going through something very traumatic, I would talk it out with someone that you really trust, or you would have to pay money to see your therapist. Because a lot of times we don't want to put the action or pay to invest in ourselves. But sometimes that is required, especially for us to get out of what we're going through.
Right.
And then self-investment is probably the best investment you could do for yourself. And there's nothing wrong with taking extra measures to invest in yourself so you can get the proper help and move forward on with your life. Because being stuck in the same place is also not good for you. It's not good for your mental. And this is where a lot of people, unfortunately, you know, end up hurting themselves. When they hurt themselves, they also hurt the people that love them. And then when you don't get help, you're blocking other people that you may, for example, you may have met a great guy or girl, but because you need heal yourself or get the self-help that you needed, then you end up missing that great relationship you could have had with that person, or friends too. Right. So with that being said, that's why I really believe in self-investment. If you have to seek therapy, seek it. You know, and a lot of times there's also free therapy sessions. You know, we have this stigma. Oh man, if you go to therapy, it's because, you know, I don't need to go because, you know, I'm good. It's, you know, crazy people. Even for crazy people and stuff like that. But no, that's not what it's about. So that's my take on it.
Yeah. No, that was good. I love what you said. Like, if you don't heal from the past, like, it's going to carry over to your next relationship. And like, that is so important. I don't think a lot of people know that. Like, yo, if you do not
deal what you need to deal with,
it's literally like, that's why people keep attracting the same type of people. Like, why do I keep attracting cheaters? Why do I keep attracting, you know, guys that, you know, do drugs or, you know, do all this stuff? And it's like, well, that's because you didn't heal from the past.
Facts. And it is not, they shouldn't be taking your burden that you should have dealt with. We can't be carrying someone else's burden that they should have dealt with before us. Right. You know, so we have to take that initiative because it's not fair to them. It's not their fault that we went through what we went through. Let's take care of ourselves. Like, you clean your own house before you go, you know,
move into someone else's, right?
Yeah, or bring someone else into your house. Yeah, you know, you know, you can't have a messy house and have everybody. I mean, you can still do that, but you know,
it's just producing more clutter.
It's just producing more clutter. Yeah. So clean your own house before you bring someone else in.
And to jump off that too, I think a big thing is when you do get into, like, let's say a relationship and you do have that burden that you haven't necessarily worked on, you can't look at the other person to almost take that burden off of you. That's not if it's your burden, that's one of those things you have to work on. That's the whole point. That's why when we say, you know, you cleaning up your own house, it really does make sense, because it's not your significant other's job to clean up something or fix something for you. That's not how it works. You come in and you work on it, and then you can be happy, right? We always say you fix yourself and you work on yourself. Even when you're in a relationship, nobody comes in and we're all good. Like, oh, you have no issues, I have no issues, now we're perfectly gonna be together. That's not realistic. When you're in a relationship, even in it, you're still gonna be working on things, and your partner is as well. And as life progresses, more things are gonna come. More things are gonna occur that are gonna have you needing to work on yourself. Needing for you to work on yourself. So I think the biggest thing is when you focus on that root, what it is that's causing either like the trauma or the experiences to come every so often. You have to really find the root, and then see, okay, now what are we going to do moving forward? What am I going to do personally to be able to work on this so that I'm not bringing my issues into the next relationship or vice versa.
Because if you don't deal with these issues that you have, because like you said, there's always going to be more issues coming in.
Right.
And if you don't deal with those issues, the other issues that come in, you're going to be so overwhelmed.
Right.
Right.
And
Their
it's-
issues, your issues.
Your issues,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, and then you can be like, yo, what am I going to do? And all that stuff. So like, it's better to have less issues than have too many issues.
Facts. Yes. Yes. Keep it straight up.
So the
like-
less the better. So you
Yes.
might as well deal with something. I really like what you said, and when you're talking about, especially, well, it's kind of off topic. Well, the communication thing. Like, if something's going on, you communicate right now.
Correct.
So
Right.
if there's an
Right,
issue
yeah.
going on, you take care of that issue as soon as you can.
Yeah. You know, as long as it's you know, not that cocaine addiction, then it's like, yeah, you shouldn't be in that.
I mean, you should still probably bring that up too and probably work on that.
No, but I remember from a great book that I read, The Power of Now, where he says, like, relationships, you know, they don't bring out, or they don't, you know, give you unhappiness and pain. Like, they just bring out the pain and unhappiness that's already within you.
Wow.
So it's like, if you think it's the other person, oh, it's your fault. Da, da, da. Nah, bro, it was you. You already had it. It's just, you know, you just carried it over. And that's why, you know, it really is important. But like, you know what? I have this problem. Before I get into this relationship, let me just deal with it first. Because even when I've been in relationships, I'd be like, hey, I'm Gucci. It's great about relationships. You might think you're okay. You might think you're fine.
Then you're tested.
And then, exactly.
Yeah,
you're
then you're
tested,
really tested.
And then you're like, oh my gosh, like,
It's
I
me.
didn't know.
It's me.
Yeah, it's me.
It's me.
I didn't
Sorry,
know.
it's me.
Or
Yeah.
even so, if you think that you're over something and then something occurs and it's like, well, I guess I didn't really work on that the way I thought I had. Because then it brought up old feelings or something that probably happened to you. And, you know, like I said, you may have thought, oh, I fixed that or it's fine, but it's still creating that emotion that you thought was already gone.
Wow.
Yeah, I you know, we were a girl, man. We'd be chilling, and then something happened. I'm like, oh, yo, it's I'm not feeling too great now. Like, yo, just
We've all been there.
like, I've had like
All of
little
us, yeah.
stuff, like pop up from like my childhood. I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize that, you know, I kind of still dealt with this. I need to
Right. Or you're still
figure this
carrying
out.
it. Correct.
Yeah, yeah. So, like you said, therapy, you know, going to God. For me, what
Getting
really
good
helped,
people around you too.
right? Yeah. For me, what really helped, you know, I think I mentioned it before. Was like I had that breakup in 2018, and literally I just read books all the time. I read so many books. I read like 25 books that entire year because I was like desperate. I was like, bro, I don't feel good. I
Let me
need
read-
these books. I read so many personal growth books. I was like, I need help. I was like, what's going on? What's going on?
This didn't do it. Let
And
me go to
like-
the next one.
Yeah.
I also wanna add
Every
journaling.
single one of them.
Help you with something.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you say?
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you. I also want to add journaling.
Oh,
I think will
Oh,
absolutely.
help.
journaling. Yeah, bro. Putting your thoughts down on paper
Right.
is amazing. That really, really helps. For sure.
Or even so, I've heard, and I've done it a few times. I haven't really been consistent with it, but giving yourself those self-affirmations. I think someone had once told me, if you write something on your mirror, and I've done it, like I said, like maybe twice. You write something on your mirror, and then so every morning when you wake up and, you know, you're doing your normal daily routines and all this stuff, and you're reading the message that you left yourself.
Okay.
So you're starting off your day already with some positivity, already from the jump. And not just that, but that's something you wrote yourself almost, you know? And I think those affirmations are really important too, because that's coming from within. That's just you yourself. Granted, of course, if someone else is giving you affirmations, that's great. But at the end of the day, the problem with that is that you cannot, like, if you're waiting for someone to give you affirmations, you're going to constantly have to go to them for it. It's the same concept with like validation. If you go to other people for validation, you're going to have to go to them for it consistently.
Wow.
You have to look within, and always it really just it boils down within yourself. Like, you have to seek all those things that you think you need from other people. You got to start and look for that within yourself.
So, I guess kind of two things. All right. Well, first thing is like, what type of affirmations do you mean? And the second thing is, a lot of times, like, if you think that you don't have love, you're not gonna give. You're not
Right.
gonna give love. If you think, oh, you're not getting kindness, you're not gonna really be kind to other people.
Right.
So, my thing about that is that give even if you don't think you have it, because you do, and like give that love, give that kindness. If you want words of affirmation, give it to other people, too.
Right.
And then, as far as the words of affirmation, like, what do you mean by that? Do you just mean I'm perfect?
No. I don't mean, no, I think
know.
with the self-affirmations, it's more than anything like speaking that positivity to yourself. Like, it could be something as small as you're going to have a blessed day today, or think about how blessed you are. I think that's me personally. I recently
like
have
a
on
gratitude.
Yeah, like I've recently noticed that when I wake up and start my days with more gratitude, it projects throughout my day and within the people that I'm around.
100%.
So it could be something as simple as you have food on your table, you have clothes on your back, and you can breathe. Those 3 simple things. I mean, like, stop. Those 3 simple things. If you really have if you have that perspective, like, I'm able and I have these things already, okay, I could start off my day. And that's personal. That's just me. Like, that's, if I'm in the morning, I'm just like, okay, I can breathe right now. Like, take a deep breath. That goes into like meditation. People do, why do you think people do meditation or like even yoga, for example? What is the whole point of that? Like, no, honest.
Yeah,
what do you,
no,
like, you know what I'm saying?
still thinking about
like people do that as far as, or even so, there's something that I never knew of, but this whole thing that people get into being more grounded, where they go outside in the mornings and they actually step on the grass barefoot.
Oh wow, yeah, I think
Literally. And there's studies that show mentally that helps us. Like, that really helps the starting your day like that. Just, it's like you really being fully on the ground, just, I guess, taking it in for what it is. I haven't done it because I haven't done it yet. But it's little practices like that. And, going back to the self-affirmation, as far as like writing down, for females, writing "you're beautiful." I think that's one of the biggest thing. The simple "you're beautiful," and when you start to consistently see that, even in the midst of like any imperfection you have, imperfections are beautiful too. I think people don't see it like that because it's like, oh wow, I don't, my eyebrow over here is a little bit thinner, or whatever the case is. I don't have as much, my hair is not long, short, whatever the case is. I think once you start to tell yourself that, when people do tell you, it feels good, but also like, that already. It's not something like you haven't heard before, because it's like I'm constantly practicing it myself.
Wow.
I've heard the thing about affirmations. I asked you about it because I've heard that if you start saying affirmations that you don't believe, it could actually do the opposite. It actually make you feel like worse because you're saying this, but your brain knows, like, wait a second, as long as it's like, if you say, oh, I'm the best person in the world, I'm perfect. That's what I was saying. And then, your brain is like, wait, hold up. It's like, hold up. Hey, that's not true, bro. Like,
yeah, I mean, you got to do it obviously realistic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say you're perfect.
Right. That's why, I like to say, now I've been doing affirmations like, oh, I'm changing. I know I can change. I believe that I can change.
Correct.
Certain
like
things.
You have it in you.
Yeah. Just a belief that, Tom Bilyeu says, the only belief that matters is the belief that you can change or improve. And like, I've just been telling myself that lately, that no matter where you are in life, like, and I want to say that always on this podcast, like, no matter where you are in life, you can always improve. You can always change. Your situation doesn't have to be the same. Right. And
amazing.
Yeah, just believe in that too. About who you are as a person. Like, I am not just this person who's set in stone, set in their ways. Like, I'm a human, the best adaptation.
Yeah.
Adaptation machine. Like, so yeah.
I think a big thing with that as well is like, you just, as an individual, you have to want to change. That has to come from within too.
Yeah.
If that desire to be better is not there, it's going to probably be hard for you to change if you're not wanting it,
Yeah.
And it's important to just want that change. And I think a lot of people have to go through certain things in life, and it's unfortunate, but those certain circumstances and experiences change them to want to change. Like, like, let's say if it's a breakup or somebody close to you passes away, anything like that, realistically speaking, let's all be real, that hurts, right? There's no questions asked. That's going to cause pain in your life. But whatever circumstance that is in, when you start to like change your thought process on like, okay, I want to be better in this area of my life, that all comes within, you know, like a person can tell you like, hey, you know, I think you need to do better in this aspect, or you need to change. You can hear that and take that as what constructive criticism, but you need to want and have that desire to change for your mind now to actually stimulate itself and say, okay, now we got to change your whole mentality as well. Like now we have to change and have a different outlook from what you had before.
When I was younger, I didn't think you could change. Mm-hmm. That was like a big thing for me. It was like, I don't know, I just thought that everybody was kind of fixed. Like, oh, my brother is, you know, this type of guy. He's social. He's, you know, yeah, I guess I'm not going to be social. I guess I'm not going to be, you know, popular. I'm just average C student,
I'm just here.
You know. Yeah, I guess that's just life, you know. And I think that's why the books really hit, because these books said, like, nah, bro, you can change. Like, you can take control of your life, which I think is amazing. That's, like, one of the biggest things that I've learned, like, in the past 8 years, is that, nah, bro, like, you don't have to be this fixed person. If your parents or society says, no, you're going to be this, you're always going to be this, like, nah, bro. I can be whoever I want to be, man. If I want to be an astronaut, bro, or if I want to be the next Michael B. Jordan, you know, I can, you know, I can do that.
He said, I can do that.
Or you can be the next best Nathaniel and Ashawn Goodrich.
Yeah, the best version of yourself. Stick with that.
Oh, yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Man trying to be a follower.
He's a leader.
No, but I think when you had mentioned that, you know, just with changing in general as an individual, that as you were younger, you didn't think people could change. I think I had the same mindset. I won't lie that, you know, like, oh, people can they really change? I mean, that's a solid question. And when for so long I used to think, oh, I don't really think people can change, until I've seen myself change. And then I really like, no, people can change. When I did that self-evaluation, that seeing myself and the growth I've had within just 5 years, I'm like, okay, no, if I can do it, anybody could do it, really. You know, it's just, it's as simple as that. You
Bars.
You gotta want it.
If you really self-reflect, like me 10 years ago, I'm like, yo, what the heck?
Who were you?
I'm eating vegetables, bro.
Oh, you don't eat them anymore?
No, I didn't eat them.
He did.
Oh, you did it. Okay.
Bro, I was like, bro, I ain't eating those, bro. Like, you crazy, you know? Just like,
no, Brussels sprouts every day.
I ain't all on that, bro. But I did like not eat spinach, like even just little things like that, because I'm like, no, I care about my health. Right. And you know, your taste buds change and stuff too. But you're like, holy crap! I used to be this person who was sort of kind of antisocial. Like, I didn't have friends. You know, I had that fixed mindset. And like, just seeing, you know, almost 10 years later, and it's like, nah, bro, like, all this change happened. I can do all this. Like, just the beliefs that you have about yourself. Like, I challenge all of us to challenge them. We were kind of talking about it at the men's conference about mindset and things like that too. It's like, the things that you believe, like, is that really true about who you think you are?
Or were you
That's
just
good.
accustomed to what people told you were?
Exactly.
Or your parents or your family.
Wow.
And you this or that. That's why.
That's good.
I was listening to a podcast. I forgot the name of the podcast. I think it's they called like the Mindset Podcast. It's a really good podcast. And he said he knew the host was like, he knew this lady that worked at like, what's the facility where people gonna die? Like,
is that the
rehab
funeral homes?
No, like they're gonna die. Like
hospice. Right?
Hospice.
Yeah.
And every person that's about to die in the hospice, you know, the lady would ask them, "What is your biggest regret?" Not doing what I wanted to do. Just doing what they told me I should do.
Wow.
You know, you go in your family, hey, you gotta be a doctor. But no, I want to be a singer or something. You know, I'll just follow what my family tells me. And then most people, a lot of people, that's why this is called the midlife crisis. Because they wake up and they're like, oh, snap.
What have I been doing?
What have I been doing? I hated what I've been doing. I was just living for others people's validation. Or trying to make them happy. Or living
for others, period.
Or living for others. Just trying to make my parents happy. Just trying to make those people happy. You know, but I'm not happy within. If you're not happy within, then that's...
That was good,
man. Yeah. What have you guys, like, now that you're an adult, you know, what's one of the biggest things you've learned, like, that has changed, or like, oh, you thought, other than like the fixed mindset stuff, like, what have you just learned, like, oh, I didn't realize being an adult, oh, this was, you know, a thing, or this happened, or
I've learned quite a few things.
Well,
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Take it, so I can collect my thoughts.
Probably the biggest thing I've learned: no one, absolutely no one, is coming to save me. I like, to be honest, like, most people care about their own problems. Everyone has their own problems. If I'm going through something, you gotta figure it out. Most people don't care about you. You can complain all you want. Most people don't care about your problem because they all have their own problems. And they pretend they care, they listen. But obviously, you know, I still got my parents, you know, I got God, I got good friends, but like, at the end of the day, I have to be accountable for pretty much everything as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much the biggest thing I've learned.
yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow, man. Like,
It
your mom can't always be there coming to pick you up for school.
When you were a kid, you had
Yeah.
problems.
No worries. No worries.
No
as a
worries in
kid.
the
You
world,
know?
man. I
Yeah.
remember when I was a kid, I could not wait to be an adult.
What?
Facts.
Everybody in the
Man,
grandma was
yeah,
saying that.
know.
I hit the
Nah, but
adult. I'm like, dang.
You want to be a kid again?
I gotta do my own doctor appointments. My
I
mom
know,
said I had
right?
to do it.
I gotta
Oh my
set
God.
that up.
Yeah,
My
that's
dentist
like
appointment?
Yeah,
I gotta pay for
I'm
insurance.
dead,
Oh,
for
man.
real.
Man, health
Yeah.
insurance, car
Oh.
insurance.
All right. So I think to answer your question, what I have realized as of lately specifically is how incredibly short life is. The time that we get is just flying. You know, it doesn't stop for anybody. So whatever you have to do necessarily, or whatever brings you joy and happiness, I think that's something that you should put as a priority, 100%. There's no if, ands, or buts. I mean, this isn't something that we're going to get another try. Like, we don't get life twice. And then, you know, this is a little, a trial run. This is one and done, unfortunately. But whatever brings you joy, whatever brings you happiness, that's worth fighting and working on 100%. And me, as right now, like what I'm on in my stage of life, is also realizing that as we're getting older, everyone around us is getting older, all of our loved ones specifically. That's like your parents, your grandparents, cousins, whoever's in your immediate family, that's friends too. So it's really important to invest in spending time with them, because life is going to bring a lot of things. We don't know right now. We don't know what tomorrow will bring, and next week. So spend time with the people you genuinely love. Make that time, schedule some time for them, because they're getting older just like we are, you know. And I say this just because I have parents in my life also who mean the world to me. So I make it a thing where I consistently spend time with them, because I'm so caught up sometimes on what I want to do in my life that I'm like, man, my parents are getting older. Like, you know, like I see everything that they've been through with me and for me. So also spend time with them, and if you're not having like a tight relationship with your parents, you know, that's something maybe either you want to work on or not. But if there's someone in your life that you genuinely care about and realize that they have played such a huge impact in your life, spend time with that person. You know, whoever it is just important that you revolve and spend that time with them, because life is just continuing to go on, whether we want to continue or not. You know, it's not stopping. And we look at it now and we're 20 something, and then in a blink of an eye we're gonna be 40. And so, you know, it's important just to realize that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I agree with both of what you said. Like, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's gonna set those doctor's appointments and dentist appointments. And just knowing that, you could wake up the next morning and it's like 13 going on 30, and you know, you're 30 and 40 and 70. You're like, oh my gosh, where'd my life go? And knowing that, it's like, I think it's also kind of cool. Like, time will fly by, so you might as well just do what you want to do. Even all the boring stuff that you kind of don't want to do, well, time's gonna fly by like really quick. So you kind of only have to do it like for a period of time. If you know what 3, 4, 5, 10 years feels like, you know, that was fast.
Right.
That means you can just do what you need to do right now, even the boring stuff, the hard stuff. Well, you get the feeling for time, so you know, okay, yes, this sucks, but I know how time works.
Correct.
I just have to keep doing
pushing
this
forward.
stuff, yeah, for a little bit, and then I wake up and like, holy crap, we made $1 million. You know, holy crap. Like, holy crap, winning in life is, you know,
Number 1 on Apple Podcast.
yeah, like, yo, we got
Number one podcast in the world.
You heard it here.
Let's go.
You know,
man.
like 1 million
Let's go.
subscribers, man. We made $1 million last week. We made 100 million last week. Or, you know, we, you know, I got married, bro. What? I'm
Damn.
37.
I'm expecting. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, you do want kids in the future?
I
right?
do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope, yeah, kids a
Yeah.
good 10 to 15
Can I be the
years.
godfather? Just kidding.
When I'm 37, I'll teach the kid a thing or two how to box.
Oh my goodness.
How to get in that box. That's for sure.
Bro, shut up.
Yes, sir.
No.
Yes, sirree.
Just,
Now I know who not to have around and spend time with my children.
Whoa.
Hey, we be the best role
Dude,
models.
real talk,
Kids
real
love
talk,
me.
bro.
That's
Real
for sure.
talk.
We'll see in 10 years.
10 to 15, yes. 10 to 15, at least for me. 10
At
to
least
15,
me next year,
for
I'm
sure.
happy. No, just kidding. No, I'm good.
I think 10 will be too
Yeah,
much
yeah.
for me, but you know,
I'd be like, yo, what you
Whatever's
mean,
in-
bro? Man,
God's
said next
plan.
year.
God's plan, right?
Okay, yeah, God's plan. God's plan.
What about you? You didn't say what you have.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
we-
I mean, I was kind of saying kind of both of y'all's. I agree with like both of you, especially the time thing, and definitely like things don't get done if you don't do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also say that some feelings don't go away when you get older. Like sometimes you just think, oh, when I'm older, I won't feel like this anymore. And like, nah, like when you get older, like you still get insecure about certain things. And I'm like, bro, I'm 25. I thought I'd be like, I
thought I
just
did it
feel amazing. I'd be super confident about everything. Nothing will be able to deter me. I'll know everything. Like you learn, nobody knows nothing, bro. Everybody thinks that they know everything. Everybody, you know, thinks that they have all the answers, and like nobody knows anything, bro. We're all guessing.
We're all trying to figure this
Like,
out.
we're all rolling the dice, bro, and and thinking that, you know, this is like the right thing, or this is, you know, this is gonna work out, or this is whatever. Like nobody really knows stuff,
Right.
and like that's why it's important to educate yourself and try different things and always improve, because something has to work, something has to stick, and you can't just do the same thing and expect different results. So
You can't do the same thing, different, expect different bars.
so yeah, you might as well just keep learning and improving. And time doesn't heal all wounds, but time with personal growth can heal some really deep wounds, and you can get 10 times better than you were 10 years ago by working on yourself.
Correct.
So cheers to the rest of the year, for the next 10 years, for the next 50 years, because time can actually be a really good thing when you use it right, and let's use it right.
Yeah.
And I know that we'll use it right, and the people watching will use it right.
Yes, sir.
So
And it's exciting. I mean, if you think about it, like just thinking about that person you'll be like 10 years from now.
yeah,
I mean, I'm excited about that stuff.
I'm excited what I'm gonna be doing.
Where I'll be, what
all
you'll
the
be doing, who
pranks,
you'll be around. Yeah.
all the pranks I'm gonna be doing with my wife, possibly my kids, pranking her a lot.
Man, I'm excited for the next day. To wake
just
up.
tomorrow.
I'm excited for tomorrow.
Caleb just wants to go to bed. That's
No,
he's just excited to lay
I'm
in
ready for
bed,
my
his
sleep. I'm
head
ready
down.
For my sleep. I'm ready for my sleep.
I mean, being able to wake up and see one day is a blessing. To see
Yeah.
another day, because some
Absolutely.
people don't wake up to see another day. So I'm grateful to see the next day.
Every day.
Anyways, guys, this was a phenomenal episode. Thanks for coming and winning in life. See you on the next episode, and let's keep winning in life.